Prompt from Sudden Action 8975. So what's your power? Said the all-seeing superpowered individual. Telekinesis, you said, so it's not the ability to order around the invisible monster that follows you around? The fucking what? First story from Written Insanity. So, and I just want to be clear about this, Ashley said as she peered over my shoulder. Your power is telekinesis? Yeah. I checked to see what she was looking at, but there wasn't anyone coming. We'd met online and agreed to meet in person after we'd each provided proof that we had powers. Look, did you tell someone else to come or? I checked again as she continued to stare. You're freaking me out. Same, she said as she looked one last time. So your power isn't to control the giant monster that follows you around? The what? The giant, she shook her head. Do me a favor and grab that branch or something. I turned around. She was looking at nothing. What did she mean by a monster? What are you talking about? Okay, she said, way too calm for this situation. That thing must be invisible, so, look, can you just order it to go grab a tree or something? So I know it's linked to. What do you mean a fucking monster? I snapped. Dude, I felt her hand on my shoulder, and I flinched, throwing my power at her to pull her off of me. Ashley screamed bloody murder and then stopped once she'd been removed. Christ, she managed after a second. Okay. Okay. You control that thing. Jesus. What thing? I asked again. What are you talking about? And wait. Her power was being able to see extra things. Other spectrums of light. Was she, oh my god, do I just control a giant monster? Ashley didn't respond right away, but instead stared wide-eyed into the space between us. After a little too long she said. It's nodding its head right now. Oh. Wow. Yeah. Wait, did I just send it charging at you? Emicham. Yeah. You did. Ashley took several shaking breaths before standing more upright. It's cool, just didn't expect this when I came here. I blinked several times, trying to see if any amount of resets would let me see the monster I was apparently in charge of. Maybe if I told it to appear, but I wasn't sure how to give a command like that. My power had just been there all my life, like something inherent and attached to me. Neither did I said after a moment. Okay, well I guess we both know that the other one wasn't cheating when it came to having powers, she said as she steadied herself. Nice to meet someone young who actually has these damn things. You know old people with powers? Yeah, like some. She said. She was still staring at the space between us instead of at me. If we were being fair, I would have stared at a monster too. I've tracked down a couple people like us. Seeing things helps. She took a step back before turning her eyes back to me. Never seen anything like this though. Oh good. I find someone who kind of understands and I'm still unique. Half camaraderie. Sounds like it might be the best of both. She looked directly at me. Can you? She flicked her eyes to the space between again to represent the question. Oh sure, I used my power to grab a tree branch off to the right, playfully tugging on it. For the first time in my life, I took note of the half-second delay between my command and it happening. That thing is fucking fast, she said with a shiver. Speed of thought. Remind me not to piss you off, she said. I don't want to know what that thing can do with those claws. Claws. Claws? It had claws? Ashley had taken me out to a diner after the meeting in the park and insisted that she would be the one paying. That was nice. According to her, she understood the position I had been stuck in for the past bit, barely scraping by after flunking out of most of life. It turned out that the biggest thing my power had given me was crippling paranoia about someone knowing that I had a power. So much for them being super. At least I had someone who somewhat understood sitting across from me now. Are you going to eat? She asked. I said. I'm just a little slow. Slow? Slow is allowed. For the first time in the past bit, I looked down at her plate. She was done. How long had she been done? What was, sorry, I'll speed up. Just thinking about some stuff. The fact that you're being followed around by a giant monster all the time, she suggested. It was that and the soggy fries, but considering the fact that I wasn't paying, it felt ungrateful to mention the latter. Just really changes my perspective on, well, everything, I guess. Why? She asked. Is it functionally anything different? Ashley looked over to the side again. Clearly, the monster was standing at the edge of the red and white sticky table right now. She'd tried to describe some of what it looked like, but I'd missed most of the explanation while trying to picture it. I leaned back, the vinyl seat creaking beneath me, before remembering that I was supposed to be eating faster so Ashley didn't have to wait for me. I guess not. I just didn't know I was ordering something around this whole time, right? Okay. That's different, isn't it? I asked. I thought I was the one doing all the work before, but I asked it to do a lot of useless shit, and now I know it's a monster that I've been having run around the house because I wasn't going to grab the remote, she suggested. It was much more reasonable than where my sentence was going, so I nodded. I wouldn't worry about it too much, she continued. You're not the only one who has, like, a servant power. Don't call it a servant power. Don't? That makes it sound super bad. I dropped the fry I'd been working on and then tried to find a response for several moments before settling on nothing. I was going to say a helper, but that just makes them sound like they're the help. You can call it whatever you want. I'm sure. What makes you so sure? I asked, glancing around the diner. An old couple was sharing a dry pie in the corner. Cute. Like I said, I've met other people with unpaid intern powers. That's not much better, I pointed out. Ashley clicked her tongue and tucked her auburn hair back behind her ears, like she'd done at least a dozen times since she'd sat down. Within seconds, the hair was falling back wherever it liked, too long to be tamed. You girls still doing okay? The waitress asked as she came back over. She was somewhere around our age and had spent 95% of the time since we'd walked in staring at the floor instead of at either of us. If I'd believed in bad tips, she would have been getting one. Well, there was both the morality of a bad tip and the fact that I wasn't paying. Yeah, we're fine, Ashley said once I'd spent too long thinking about the tip to reply in a timely manner. Just considering the dessert. Do you want me to bring over a menu? The girl asked the checkerboard tile. She was standing way too far away from the conversation for a reasonable waitress. Do you have ice cream? I asked. Yes. Vanilla? No. Really? Ashley asked. What flavors do you have then? Lemon sherbet. Do you have lemon sherbet or a flavor of ice cream that tastes like lemon sherbet? I don't know if those are different, the girl, Paige, according to her name tag, said. I'll go check. She scurried off toward the back of the restaurant. We both watched her go. I spoke up. Mood. Pardon? I'd run after that interaction too, I said. No. She can totally see it, Ashley said. What? She can totally see your thing. She was standing away from it the entire time. Fucking what? I think she can. Does everyone but me get to see it? I said a little too loudly. I didn't need to know what everyone in here thought we were arguing about. We should talk to her. She doesn't seem to want to talk to us. One of us controls a giant monster, Ashley said. I frowned. It seemed much friendlier when it was all in my head. Whoa my god, Paige squeaked as soon as she opened the back door of the diner to head to her car. In retrospect, if she could see the thing, using it to check if the door was locked earlier wasn't the best idea. Please don't eat me. It's not going to eat you, Ashley said. It doesn't do that. It could, I said. I wouldn't know. Paige squeaked in response. Entirely unhelpful, Ashley said as she pushed off the tipped-over garbage can she was using as a seat. Paige. Nice to meet you again. I'm Ashley. This is Joy. Hello, I chimed in with my best sing-song greeting. She controls that, Paige pointed to the left of the door. Damn it, I could have sworn it was off to the right. That thing? Yeah, see? I pushed my power toward the can Ashley had been sitting on, and she flinched as it moved past her. I could have sworn I had never dealt with that delay before. That thing is so fast, Paige said. Unsettlingly so, Ashley nodded. But you can see it, which means you're the kind of person we're looking for. What kind of person is that? Paige asked. In a shocking turn of events for the person making the pitch, Ashley wasn't ready for that question. She bit her lip, cracking the dark lipstick that had been on for way too long. I mean, most people understand what I mean when I say something like that, she eventually admitted. Not sure, like you can see that thing, right? Of course. That, Ashley's words died on the vine again. Most people can't, I offered. What? I can't. She said you control it. Paige pointed at Ashley as she spoke. What do you mean you can't see that? I can't see it. It's huge. News to me, I said, then added, wait a second, did you not know it was weird that you could see something like that? I pointed to where I thought my power was, then adjusted twice before settling on a spot. Paige stared at the pavement and finally let the diner door close behind her. Without the light from inside, there was a single yellow flickering bulb illuminating the whole scene in a sickly hue. This was the kind of place where people got murdered. No. I thought everyone could see it. That statement was enough to snap Ashley back into the conversation. You thought that thing was normal? It's fucking terrifying. Each time Ashley described something about my monster, I wanted to see it. I needed to see it. Yeah, I thought it was scary, but everyone else in the diner wasn't reacting to it, so. And you just walked up to it? Ashley asked. I didn't want to get in trouble. So you walked up to that demon? Hey, they're not a demon, I cut in, despite not actually knowing that. I hope. Hey, I turned to where I thought my power was, are you a demon? It's on the other side of the garbage can, Paige offered as she used the collar of her shirt to clean off her thick-rimmed glasses despite her shaking hands. How was I wrong again? Was my power a lefty or something? It's not a demon, right? Ashley said, jumping back into the back and forth. She took a breath to steel herself and then continued. You shouldn't be able to see it. I can only see it because I perceive extra spectrums of light and echoes of the past. Echoes of the past? I asked. You didn't tell me. Joy. Fine. Have you had anything like that happen, Paige? Ashley asked. Paige put her hand on the door handle to go back inside. No, I haven't. Have a nice day. She tried to pull on the door. It was locked. It took a moment before she tried again and then managed a quiet, oh. There was a chance to build trust. Here, hey. It's fine. Let me just open the door for. Please don't eat me. Paige screeched as soon as I reached out with my power. I stopped halfway, for the first time feeling what stopping was like, pulling on a leash. It's not going to eat you, Ashley said. Joy there was just going to open the door and didn't think about the fact that she was going to send the thing running at you. What? Paige asked, her voice shaking like a cheap apartment's washing machine. The only kind I knew. She didn't know it had a form until today, Ashley said, until I could see it. Because we're different. Special Anne. She didn't know she had a demon. Paige didn't stop cowering, but she moved a hair closer to upright as she spoke. It's not a demon, I said again. I mean, it's not like we could ask it, but... You could try, it said. Our next story is from Trigonial. I'm sorry, but could you say that again? Allsight rubbed his palms together and pursed his lips. Young lady, can you speak for yourself, or has the invisible monster fully taken over? You can see me? I asked Allsight, twiddling my claws. In hindsight, I should have guessed from his name. Yes, he nodded. Now what brings you here to Superville, and why are you trying to register as a superhero? I want to save lives. Tell me more about yourself. He gazed at me with rapt attention and started typing away on his laptop. And I don't mean Gina Norman's background info which you filled in your application form. I want to know what possessed a Possessor-type Tier 1 monster to become a superhero. Honestly, I don't know when the urge started. It felt like an intrinsic part, albeit one that didn't come until some point in my life that I don't recall. What would I tell about myself? That I used to consume and assimilate supers like him? Or I could say I have genuine telekinesis. Would he want to know the reproductive process or mating rituals of Tier 1 monsters? Or memories of disappointed family who bemoaned my lack of powers when young? All those times they tried to keep my existence a secret? Running away from home and changing my name? Only to now go back to using Gina Norman again? I shook my head, trying to clear the jumble of memories which may not all belong to me. I could ask a few specific guiding questions to help you. Allsight broke the silence, which lasted all of 10 seconds but 10 years in my head. This is your first time taking part in an interview, it seems. Yes, I said, grabbing another fistful of potato chips and pouring them into my jaws. No point pretending to eat through her mouth anymore. How did you meet Gina Norman, and why her? I was a scout. Here to monitor your planet. She was a human with no powers. Yet born among a family of superheroes. So we struck a bargain. I make her a superhero. She becomes my human vessel. Could you step aside, or whatever it is between the both of you, so she can speak for herself? He stopped typing, to check his strange machine of many eyeglasses. Seeing things I didn't think any human could see. Hang on, I tried switching to a young female voice. Which one, though? I don't recall if this voice belonged to Gina or another woman. Assimilated, Allsight stated his conclusion. You can't help it, can you? It is in your nature to consume. Gina is long gone, her voice is but one of many within you. And you don't know exactly which one. It wasn't intentional. What gave you the impression? You don't just have her body. You carry her dreams and ambitions, he sighed. Her mannerisms, you twiddle your claws the same way she used to twiddle her fingers. I know, because her father was my former partner. Oh. It's the first time I'm seeing this, a monster growing more human after assimilation. He paused to read whatever notes he had about me. Perhaps that's Gina's power. Perhaps, if only we don't mind me. It's too late for regrets. Welcome to Superville, new hero. He shook himself out of that funk to extend his hand for a handshake. What name would you like to use? Would you still want to be Gina? Yeah, I'm still Gina. And your superhero name, do you still want to be Ms. Miser? That was the name I kept calling myself while running around the backyard pretending to fly. That nickname evoked distant memories that flared back to life. Sure. Your parents would have been proud if only they could see this and know your power. What's your power? Being eaten. The cows. Wait, that's a superpower? It is a little more complicated than that, I tried explaining to my new partner Velex at the Hero Academy. Even Allsight isn't sure his conclusion is entirely correct. Can I see the monster? His eyes glowed with curiosity. Can it turn visible? I don't think the monster, can turn visible. I quietly prayed he didn't catch me slip up. Officially, I'm listed as a hero with telekinetic powers and an invisible monstrous stand who does the heavy lifting. Unofficially, Allsight thinks I'm Gina Norman, who may have reverse hijacked the Tier 1 possessor type to become the dominant personality of the thing that's piloting my body while floating behind it. Let's see if we got this right. I am possessing the monster that is possessing my body. Just being myself again, but with extra steps. Where every move I make, there's a short delay between my mind, to the monster, to my body. Allsight mentioned with the monster's reflexes, I'm still plenty faster than the average hero in this academy. At least it comes with a whole suit whatever powers, telekinesis, telepathy, blah blah blah, and other dormant powers it may have assimilated from other heroes, but I'm not consciously aware of. A quick cursory glance into Velex's mind told me he might not have the brainpower to comprehend the workings of how my power worked. Not like I'm doing a great job understanding just exactly what had happened back when the monster came to me. My brain is still mush. Mush made from mashing many minds and memories into one big sloppy goop in my, or should I say, the monster's head. Velex sheathed one of his floating swords to bounce on it like a pogo stick. My parents say they miss the good old flying brick days. I'm the weird one who doesn't fly or have super strength. So, I'm real glad my partner is super weird too. Like, invisible monster that ate me and now floats behind my back is a superpower weird. I laughed. He looked at me like I sprouted new eyes on my face, the face of my old body that I now puppeteered, and flinched. A part of me made a mental note to find a way see the monster's, now mine, reflection. Another part whispered about how certain invisible things should stay unseen by most. A few voices suggested checking in with Allsight. He was the one who spotted the monster and made deductions about my real power in the first place. Could you not do that voice of a legion thing? Velex struggled to compose himself. Use one voice, your voice. If I could remember which of the thousands of voices buried in this damn thing was mine, I'd speak with it in a jiffy. Sure, I sampled a female voice. He gave me a thumbs up. Cool one. Can you bookmark it or some shit? Dude, these voices aren't websites and this monster is not an internet browser. I heard your dad captured a possessor type working for a supervillain last week. I popped the hard question. Can I talk to them? The supervillain or the possessor? I sucked in a deep breath. The possessor. Velex's jaws dropped to the ground. What you gonna do, Gina? Let it eat you too? Catch it like a Pokemon?
Thanks for watching, Red Monkey family. Remember to like, subscribe, and drop a comment with your thoughts. I'll be back soon with more Reddit madness. Ooh,